I felt like Aladdin and the genie. Like every time I get on my mat, I felt like I was Aladdin in the flying carpet, real shit. And I don't know who created it. They probably was tapped into the practice of yoga as well, for sure. Welcome to Raise Your FreequenC, the space for you to tune in, tap in, and transform within. As you hear this sound, take a deep breath and feel yourself arriving fully into this moment. Welcome back to the show. In the last episode, we talked about how the practice of yoga found me. Today's episode, I'm going to expound upon that a little bit and talk about why I continue to practice yoga. I mentioned how that studio was like it feels like a safe space that freed me. It freed me from the box that I was putting myself in mentally. That community empowered me, uplifted me, and inspired me. And that's what I want to talk about today. The power of being in community and being at the right spaces. So when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And so when I was ready, the infrastructure appeared in my life. It had already been there for so many years, and I had been living in the area for 3 or 4 years at the time. So by the time I saw it, it wasn't like it was a new space. It wasn't like it was a new place. It was a already built community. And what kept me coming back was I just literally would feel happier after doing classes. Like, I wanted to stay in the practice. I wanted to stay in the practice of yoga. The way I felt in the building and the way I felt on my mat. Like, I felt like I could go there, take a class, charge up and reset myself for the week ahead. Or if I would take the Saturday morning classes, I would take that, charge up, just because I'm feeling good. Before I even understood all of the depths of it, which I actually don't even still fully understand. But before I knew that there was depths to the practice of yoga, I just kept going because of how it made me feel in the class and that energy I could carry with me after class. So boom, once I first got in the rhythm of taking classes, again, it was just like, it was new to me, and it was fun, right? And I really was on my weight loss journey, and I'm thinking, okay, bet I'll go to the gym and lift and do all that, and then go to the yoga studio, get the cardio and core and focus on stretching. And I'm like, shit, I can get gains quicker if I go to the gym, lift, and then go to the yoga class after that. So that's what I would do until I couldn't. Until after 2 times doing that, I realized, bro, slow down, because I would end up being that's moving through a lot of energy. And so if you're not drinking a lot of water, you could be dehydrated. And so, yeah, in the beginning I was doing that. I was like, shit, I'm going to the gym, boom, boom, boom. And then I'm going to the yoga studio right after I'm thinking your muscles grow when they stretch. So I'm thinking well, shit, I already ripped them up in the gym. Let's grow them and let's go stretch at this relaxing place. So I would do that. But then I realized I was struggling to make it through the class. At the time I wasn't super connected to my breath. And also, I just think if I wasn't hydrated, that's a lot. Once I first got hip to it, I was basically trying to find my balance. So when I made that connection that, okay, I can take an intense class and sweat, and my body is in sweat and challenge myself. Or I can take a gentle class just for the relaxation aspect of it and feel good, and just for the energetic release. At the time I didn't know that's what it was, but it was energetic release, because a lot of times the instructors were always connecting breath to everything, always connecting the breath to every move, and with that you breathe with every movement. So you inhale when you do one movement, and then you exhale when you do another. And then that in itself tells you the power of breath. Breath is pranayama, it's your life force energy. So it's deeper than just inhale, exhale. But it's not a coincidence that when if there's like an emergency response situation, or someone is clinging on to life, they're checking their pulse to see if they're breathing. That's not a coincidence. That's because that's your life force. That's what connects you to the source. If you can't live without breathing. You see what I'm saying? And with that being said, let's take a moment to let that sink in, and let's appreciate our breath. So just take a nice deep cleansing breath in and out with me. The power of breath is so important. We can't live without our breath. So to continue back with what I was saying when I made the connection of how I can breathe through the stretches. When I'm in the classes and I'm stretching, the instructors would say a lot of times, breathe, send your breath where you need the most. Send your breath where you feeling like tight in some spaces. So as I'm getting in my flow and finding the best way that I can hit the gym and yoga, trying to find my balance, that's when I made the connection that, okay, I can still feel good if I take a relaxing class, and I can also feel good if I take a power flow class where I'm sweating and sweating out the toxins. I still love those type of classes, but my preference is like a restorative yoga or a yin yoga class. And there's also some other classes I would love to try. But anyway, I was getting my balance, making that connection. I just kept coming back. I was learning so much at one time. It was just like I felt like I stepped into another world. And as I grew in my practice, and as I grew in my awareness, I started to learn even more things. And going to that studio helped me connect things in my life. That's what yoga is. The practice of yoga. Yoga means union, yoke, right? Yoga makes sense of the different parts of your journey that you can't articulate, or it's really about the interconnectedness of life and seeing the God in all living beings, seeing how we're all a part of God's body. So you got the trees outside, or the plants inside, me, us as humans, animals. We're all connected. We're all here, a part of something bigger. And yoga is stepping into that. I'm not going to sit here and say I know everything about even the practice of yoga. And that's what I know. Through this practice of yoga, I'm going to continue to learn more things that I don't know or haven't even made sense of yet, but that the practice is what makes sense of it. So now it's like I'm realizing, I'm getting in the community. People in the community are starting to know my name because I've taken a class with them. I started taking different trainings, and I'm the only guy in the training. And I even still wasn't really understanding the depths of it. But as I got into the community and understood that it was community, I just kept growing, evolving. And that's just the journey I've been on, is always growing, evolving. Boom. I'm telling everybody about the place. I'm there, I'm in my flow. And I kept coming back because community. And I think community is so powerful because there was other people like me practicing yoga for similar reasons. Now, I hesitated because I started to say practicing for the same reasons as me, but I know that no two people are running the same race, even in a track meet. Yeah, they both trying to compete. Yeah, everybody in that race is trying to win, but they're running on their own program. They're their own person, or they wouldn't be here or be alive. So no two people are running the same race, even if they have alignment in their goals. Everybody is on their own unique path and journey because we all have our own connection to God. I think my story was unique in that, and it was two different perspectives. We knew God was real. Both my parents would talk about how God was real just from the things that they experienced in life. But it's not like it was something that they didn't really like force me to do it. My connection with God was surface level. Like I wanted it, I was yearning, but I felt like I was missing something. And it was because I didn't really have my own connection. I had the connection with God that I was told I was supposed to have, instead of actually feeling the connection to feeling my relationship with God or building that relationship. And it wasn't until getting in this practice of yoga on a yoga mat that I heard, okay, let me get into the community. So I was just trying all things. I just was in that place learning. If I would ask questions, the owner, who's a mentor to me, really would answer my questions. That's the main thing, is damn. And then when I'm going to ask the questions, it's like, there's no dumb question. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I'm still like, bro, it's hard to articulate it, really, honestly. The impact, but I'm just doing my best to share with you the magnitude. And this, this is my experience. Other people are going to have their own experience, again, because no two people are running the same race. No, my ancestors were in the church. My grandma's still in the church. So if she asked me to go to church and say, come with me, I'm going to go with her. I was going to this particular church on my own, but I just stopped going once the pastor was talking about how, nah, don't go sit in front of somebody that said they can read your energy. Ooh, that's demonic. If they say they can channel something that's demonic. And I'm like, it's a case by case basis. Everything is attached to its opposite. We're humans. We have the ability to channel certain energies, whether you know it or not. Everybody has these abilities. Some people are more practiced in these abilities and realizing that, so they work in it, and others may not know. We wouldn't enjoy if there wasn't pain. We wouldn't be so happy to have the sunlight if it wasn't for darkness. So if he could say that, hey, that's demonic, he can also say, hey, this is angelic. Because how is he getting the information and preaching to you? It's channeling. He's channeling that energy. And it's either coming from the source or it's coming from the opposite. That's just really the truth of what it is. I love God. I love Jesus. I just also understand that there's more than one way to connect to God. Everybody's unique individual. So to say that it's only one way to connect to God, or it's only one truth, is untrue. It's like trying to say, oh yeah, you got to believe it. Believe me and do what I'm saying because my way is the only way. That's not true. Then there wouldn't be different religions all over the world that run the culture or that are the primary focus. That if you're in a certain part of the world, there's a certain religion that's dominant. That's just worldwide. This shit is so deep. It's super deep, but it's as simple as no two people are the same. So how can we have the exact same beliefs? We won't. So focus on your connection to God and building that relationship with yourself, with God yourself, intimately. And then if you get in communities with other people who are like-minded, it's just all about growth. And so get in community with people that are like-minded, so you can grow and be challenged to grow and things like that. Everybody's not going to align with you. That's okay, because find a community that aligns with you. And so that's, for me, I was really going through shit, but really asking God, use me. And I knew that the story I was taught and told, I just wanted a deeper connection to God. I wanted to get closer. And yeah, so I love gospel music. I listen to gospel music that turns me up, that charges me up. It electrifies me. I'm more of an old school, listening to the hymns and the old school songs. But I know that it's about balance. That energy is still here. Man, we can go. Man, I could be talking all day. I'm going to stay on track and just say, like, yeah, find a community. And if you don't have a community, maybe it's on you to create your community. Like, for example, my man Bryson Carr, he big health, fitness, numerology, man, all the shit. Tap in with him. Holistic. There we go. Holistic. He used to be my trainer, but holistic guy. Been working out and was working out at the Tucker Road doing calisthenics outside. And then him and his mans came together and they created a community. They created what they call the DMV Dojo, and they do workout classes. They got so much shit down there. But you see what I'm saying? It's about community. And I feel like he's a great example of that. Shout out to Bryson. If you don't have the community, create the community. You can create your community. That's what the owner did for the community that I'm in. The owner, she created that community. And now we're a part of it. You see what I'm saying? So there's power in getting a community. There's power in healing community. And then because of me being in that community, so many things tied together. Man, the practice of yoga is super deep, and I'm in it forever. For me, it was emotional healing. I didn't even know it. I just was going because I knew I was stressed and it felt good. So yeah, for me, the practice of yoga did that. It's allowed me to connect with myself and be able to find my true purpose and essence. And that's what it was. I had a lot of resistance because when I thought doing the poses looked weird and it was just for women and I didn't want to be in that joint. Well, I'm the only dude in here with all the women. I'm like, man, I can't do the splits and shit that they doing, or they on their head and shit. I'm not doing this shit. But then I said, but you know what? Fuck it. I don't care. The people in there ain't judging me. They ain't worried about me. And yeah, a lot of times I be in that joint practicing with my eyes closed. People really be in there focusing on themselves. It ain't got nothing to do with, oh, I don't want to look the wrong way and shit like that. Another thing I learned about the power of intentionality through being, that's what also kept me coming back, because they kept saying stuff like, set your intention before the class. Hey, I invite you to set your intention before we practice today. And at the time, I'm like, what? Like, they like, set your intention. What's your reason for being here? And in my mind, I'm like, bro, what? Like, I'm here because I want to take the class. Like, what do you mean set my intention? Like, what are they talking about? Like, but then after I kept showing up to the classes, I realized, oh, intention. The same power I have is the power that God gives everyone, and it's the power to create. It's the power to do anything that I put my mind to. There's no limits to it. So when you set your intention, and intention setting is like, you set it and then you allow yourself to be present to see how it plays out. You see what I'm saying? You can set your intention to say, today will be the best day of my life ever. I'm setting my intention for the day to make this day the best day of my life ever. And then you go out with a sense of presence and just pay attention to all the good things that come into your life that day, or pay attention to what experiences you have in that day. And that's what I learned through connecting to myself on the yoga mat. And I think there's a lot of division, but you can believe in yoga is for everyone. You can have any religion and practice yoga. You can be any race, any shape, any size. It's literally that. But people are the ones who put limits in their minds. Other people, it has nothing to do with that. You lining up with the cosmos. You know, I see yoga as a full body mudra. A mudra sends signals to your subconscious mind. Back in the day, our ancestors used to communicate through symbols. Before there was spoken language and words, you was communicating through symbols and images and pictures and things like that. And I associate with me, my practice, every time I'm doing yoga, I'm associating me with me lining up with that sacred geometry of the cosmos. Like a full body mudra, that's what got me into it. And then that's what said, I was just being intentional, just power and getting community of like-minded individuals. And you never know how one decision can change your life. You'll never know how trying something new for the first time could be that thing that unlocks your true essence, or that thing that frees you in the world and allows you to be who you are and to fulfill. I don't know everything, but I do know how the practice of yoga connected the different experiences in my journey to make it make sense, to make sense of the unsensible. Like, yeah, to make sense of the unsensible. But yeah, it's about getting in community. And like I said, the practice of yoga is so deep and in depth. But that's what allowed me to connect things in my life. And so now that's what this series is about. I'm talking about it and relating it to everyday life. And putting it out there. Get in your community. It doesn't matter. Whatever that is, find healthy ways to connect with people and to connect with yourself. Do the things that bring you joy. There's a lot of division going on and a lot of frequencies and distractions out there to get you off your path. But when you stay connected to your heart, you stay connected to your heart space, you can live a more joyful life. Going to the yoga classes, you could be dealing with some shit, or this is how it works. Like getting in the community, you could be going in there and be like, man, you know what? I'm working through something. I want to get in the community with others who are working through stuff too. Boom. So you work through some stuff, and in your mind, you're like, I'm gonna talk about this thing, but I'm not gonna talk about that one touchy thing because I don't really want to have everybody in my business. And then you go up in the space and show up. You talk about your one thing. Somebody else asks a different question that is the answer to the solution of that one thing you didn't want to talk about separately. Or someone else shares something, and the answer that is given back to them can help you in your life and your situation. So that's how powerful community it is. And then for me, an example of how powerful this place was, how I keep talking about it, is that, okay, boom. So one day my mentor offered like some volunteer hours. All right, if you do this for some credit hours for my graduation, would you mind setting up my table and talking about the studio? And I'm like, fuck. When she asked, I'm like, of course I'd do anything for that place. But in my mind, I'm like, bro, I'm scared of shit. I don't want to really talk. What do you mean set up a table and talk to the people? Yeah, it was National Night Out, and I really was like scared, bro. I didn't want to do it, but I wanted to do it so I can graduate the program. And then I thought like, well, bro, she wouldn't have asked me to do it if, number one, she didn't believe I would do a good job, and number two, that also was my first time, okay, setting up a table and having to talk about the business. So that propelled me to be able to do that for my business if I'm going to a wellness event or to be a vendor. That setting up the table like that, because I did that experience for my mentor's shop, I worked that muscle. I was meeting people, talking to people, getting them to sign up, and then did a little demo. When I was out there doing that, I met another connection. It's how God works. While I was out there setting up the table, I was out there speaking about my mentor's business and how powerful and magnetic it was. And I met this lady who now we've done some wellness events together. She invited me to a retreat and allowed me to do a sound bath at their retreat. And I met the founder of this company. Damn. Yeah, I was out there. I made a connection, and now I'm doing business with the company Mindfull Healing Collective. Shout out to them. And now we've created some powerful experiences together. Our next event we are doing is June 19th. It's a sound bath with me at a retreat space in Annapolis, Maryland from 6:30 to 7:30. The tickets on my website if you'd like to join. But yeah, all of that was from community. So that's why I say all that to say it's important to get in community, because you never know what connection you'll make. And I'm talking about connection to yourself, connection to an event in your life or some situations in your life. You'll never know how that being in community can connect those experiences. And also actual connections and networking. You can be in community with someone and you're looking to do something and you say, man, I'm really passionate about making smoothies. I want to learn how to make a smoothie business. And then somebody is like, oh yeah, bro, I got a whole smoothie business. Let me show you how this works. I can put you on game. And then boom, all of that is just from connection. So there's power in getting in community and connecting with others, because there's people who are similarly going through what you're going through. You're not the only one. But if you don't have a safe space, get in community, create your own community and create your own safe spaces to grow, thrive, and be around people that you are aligned with. That's why I kept going to the yoga studio, and I still do to this day, because it's a safe space, it's a community. And through being in the community, it helped me to see that I was a leader, and what I'm doing is building communities. And for the brothers, the good men, we got a free event. The good brother Eric leading a meditation session, then Gary doing a yoga flow, and then me closing us out with the sound bath. That's June 13th, 2:30 p.m. at Spiritual Essence Yoga and Wellness Center, and this is a free community event.